Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to In the Now Radio. Those of you who are on Facebook Live, thanks for joining us there as well. And all you YouTubers, good to see you out there. Hope you're watching the show and loving what we're about to present today. I'm Brandon Heinz with co-host Mike Driggers.
Woohoo!
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
I am fantastic and improving. We had a great Christmas, and now I'm looking forward to the new year.
Yeah. I've never been so exhausted during a holiday. It was a good year-end closeout, and there was just a lot going on, and having 3 kids and a wife and family and friends and the parties and woo!
All that.
I definitely have to give a quick shout out to my wife. She was incredible this year. She stood strong and got it all done and made it a lot easier on me. Very, very strong woman. Thank you, honey.
Yeah, I have to do the same because without Gabby, I don't know where I would have been. She's the one that organized me to get all the gifts early, right, so that we didn't stress. And she's really good at staying on top of that, managing me.
Yeah.
Because I'm crazier than a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs.
All over the board.
All over the board.
I tell all my friends my wife plans it all, and I show up. So this segment today, we're going to be talking about marketing status and celebrity status and authority status and just, how to harness publicity. Like, what's going on in your world for your business that you can't take advantage of all this stuff that's out there for you? Like, we really teach a lot of this in design on how to position your unique value. Like, what's different about you?
Instant authority, right?
Yeah, just becoming that authority in your niche of your marketing. Even if you're a cobbler, what are you known for? What's that unique value? A yogurt shop, what's different about you? Like, when we first opened up Smush Ice Cream Sandwich Factory, everyone was like, well, there's a couple of them like that. Yeah, but our ice cream's better.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the ice cream's better? Yeah, and so is the cookie. But the real unique value was the customer service, the way that you're greeted when you walk in, the way that you're treated. So
the
everything,
experience.
yeah, the experience is huge.
Which can be an authority in itself.
Yeah, you could have a really bad product that's just kind of mediocre. I mean, look at some of the chain restaurants that Sacramento seems to love so much. The food's mediocre. But
Absolutely.
The restaurant service is there, the atmosphere is there, the people are there because they love the chains. So your unique value could literally just be the experience. But when you're going for publicity, there's some factors that you got to look at. Like, how do you boost the credibility of what your company does or what you do as a coach or your book or your yogurt shop, whatever it is you're going after, boosting the credibility of the store. Like when Minchie's first hit the town in Sacramento, everybody's like, Minchie's? What's Minchie's? And all of a sudden, bam, they were everywhere. They became the authority in the yogurt shops, and they were boosting their publicity left and right. From banner ads to marketing to Facebook, everything they could do to boost their credibility of being the best yogurt shop out there, they did it. Smashburger did the same thing. Banners, apps, everything. So what are you doing to amplify your visibility? What are you doing to take that marketing level to the next level? One of my favorite owners here in town is Taro from McCooney's. He's a celebrity restaurant owner. He's got books. He does classes. He teaches you how to make sushi. He goes out and does birthday events. Every time there's a birthday on Facebook, you'll get a message from him if you're on his group.
And he speaks.
Yeah, and he speaks and does all this stuff out there. So you can be a celebrity in any type of business.
Well, if you look at the word authority, one of the very first thing that you need to look at is the anchor word, which is author. And I believe every business needs to have some type of book. I use books for different niches that I want to break into, as we've done together, right? And I think any business, I helped an insurance company. We wrote a book on how to deal with insurance companies when you have a catastrophe, and it's positioned them as the expert in their industry. So I believe that every company should position and look to position themselves as an authority, starting with that celebrity attachment, that fame factor.
Yeah.
And using books and especially media. Like Bill Gates has a quote. He says if he would start over, he would put all his money into media, the press, consistently putting out press releases. And there's several reasons why you want to do that, right? In play in the media, you're local to national to international. You want to play off the media as much as possible. And a lot of people don't realize that the power of that, even if you're not, okay, some folks will pick you up to be on a radio show. They're searching. You got to think about all these folks that are out there
looking for good content.
Looking for content. And the more you have out there, the more that you're going to be able to have more opportunities to expose you and your business.
Yeah, to amplify your visibility.
Absolutely.
That's what our guest Jill Lublin will be talking about today. She's very successful in teaching this, taking courses on it. She's put books out about it. I mean, she's going to tell you guys the next level of what we're talking about now.
You know, one of the interesting things is a good friend of ours, Kevin Harrington, who was the original shark on the Shark Tank, and he's going to be a guest speaker here this month.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how they found him. He was the inventor of As Seen on TV. But when the producers were looking for stuff, he was constantly producing media and press releases and was out there. And so when they were searching for somebody to be on here, that's how they found him, was because of all the content that he put out. So that's an example of being out there as an authority.
Yeah, he had his sizzle reels ready.
He had everything. He had press releases going, had all this stuff going.
Yeah, so if you look at the media right now, there's reporters out there looking for a story, looking for something to talk about. And if you call into those stations and actually ask them, what is it you're looking for right now? You can find out what the hot topics they're looking for and see if it fits your business niche.
Yeah, there's a thing called newsjacking.
Yeah.
Right? That I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he's here local in the Bay Area that coined this term of newsjacking. And a lot of examples of this is where you capitalize off of a trend that's happening. For example, one of the trends that he talked about is when the former President Obama had gone to, I think it was Australia or New Zealand or somewhere like that. And the minute that he stepped off the plane onto the ground, a press release went out and says, "We insure President Obama for alligator attack." So like $100,000 policy. And so the fact that they timed it, because they newsjacked that he was going to be there, they got huge publicity on this alligator insurance.
Yeah, so this insurance company found a reason to get media because he's landing in Australia. They see the media happening,
Yep.
and they're like, hey, we're going to newsjack right into this and
Exactly.
get this thing positioned to where we're getting noticed. And that's really what happens is that you got to take your unique value and throw your bait in the pond.
Yeah, look for opportunities. You know, another example is Jack Canfield. I had an opportunity to talk to him a couple weeks ago, and one of the things that he was talking about was that when the O.J. Simpson trial was going on, they sent a whole bunch of the Chicken Soup for the Soul books to the judge, and said, "Hey, we know your folks can't, watch TV or read magazines or anything, so we're going to give you these books for free because this may help them." And guess what? Every time they were interviewing one of the juror members, guess what was in their hands?
Yep.
Chicken Soup for the Soul, right? So that's a way to newsjack. That's a good example of finding that opportunity and getting that exposure.
Yeah, and that's exactly why we're going to have Jill Lublin on today. And what she's going to go over with us is just basic stuff on how to do this. Like, these are things that she's honed in her career and made possible to share by her courses, her book. She's taught thousands of entrepreneurs, authors, and small business owners how to harness the power of publicity to help them skyrocket their business. So after the break, we'll have Jill Lublin. Welcome back to In the Now.
Hello.
So today we have Jill Lublin, top speaker, master strategist, radio and television host, and best-selling author. Today she's going to talk to you about how the dance of publicity works. Jill, are you there?
I am here. So good to be with you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining. You know, I've been friends with Jill and been to a lot of her events, and she's just a master at when it comes to working with media and publicity. Like, there's so many different. You think just a press release, right? That's one thing, but when you go to the next level of, like, now you got to go present, you got to be in front of her. Her course and her program is by all it's outstanding.
Well, now that you said that, I got to thank you, Jill, for giving Mike all his ninja tricks. I thought he was just thinking of the stuff on his own.
No, he's brilliant and has learned it. So I'm grateful to be here and share with your listeners some more cool things they can do.
Yeah, so the floor is yours. Let's hear about it. I mean, I love this dance of publicity.
Well, thank you. So a couple things. The publicity, what most people fail to get is that publicity happens all the time. It happens, and no matter what business you're in and no matter what scale or size you're at. The truth is publicity is key to your success. And what I mean by that is that the power of publicity is what drives your prospects, your visibility, your credibility, your sales, your messaging, and trust. Meaning people trust you when they read about you and see you, and how powerful that is, right? That's what we all really need is more trust in the marketplace. Publicity gets that for you. And I think that's really important for others to really focus on and to understand. And really what that comes down is to your message, having a powerful message that addresses the problem in the marketplace. Not what you do, which is what the mistake most people make, but talk about what's the problem in the marketplace.
Yeah, so a problem and then the benefits and solution of what you provide. I know that's one of the things you teach, but I think on capitalizing on what you just said was that the authority, positioning yourself as that authority in the niche, the objections, the sales process, everything starts to fade away because you become the go-to person.
Yeah, you establish that trust in the market.
Yeah, because people buy based on trust, like, and knowledge, right? So I love, and so share on that, like how you work with the media in that sense, where you were just going into that about the problem, and then here's the solution.
So yeah, and that's a core message, meaning find the problem out there, and media in particular needs statistics. They need to understand why what you do or sell or promote is suitable for their readers, their viewers, their listeners. So focus in on the problem out there. It may relate to a particular trending story, or it may relate to an overall statistic. I mean, for example, when my latest book, Profit of Kindness, came out, and that's just this year, what was wonderful and sad all at the same time was we were having such problems, from coming off of an intense election. We have a lot of unkindness going on in our society today. So I just tapped right into that and titled my press release, "The Divided States of America." And that's what got the attention and put me on, so far, 7 Fox TV stations and counting, around the country. And then additionally, like 48 radio interviews and Inc. magazine, Forbes magazine. That all came out of the Divided States of America, which did not say, "Ooh, my new book's out, The Profit of Kindness," right? It focused in on the problem. So that's what I think really you got to zoom in on. What's the problem out there? And focus in on that. And if you can particularly tie it into news, that would be ideal.
Yeah, so your book, which is a great book, by the way, The Profit of Kindness, and so you didn't come out like someone normally would do, is just come out with, "Hey, my book is launched. I'm author of this. And you're a 4-time best-selling author. You came at a different angle to create that curiosity, which the newsjacking, which is a big part of that.
Yeah, and what I love, Jill, is that you've nailed it on the head. I firmly believe that the audience wants to hear the pain or the challenge that you solve. Being able to actually directly correlate what's going on in their life to the pain or challenge that you help your clients with, that you help your consumers with, that's what really makes the humanity of the business thrive, is that they know that that's the same thing I'm going through. And this person could help me, or this book could actually help me break through that piece.
Yeah, why don't you share with the folks a little bit about the Profit of Kindness and what that really means?
Sure. Well, what's so interesting about kindness and is that it doesn't mean like you roll over and like just, do everything, but it does mean that you focus in on business. How can you be more kind? I like people to practice what I call a conscious act of kindness, not a random act of kindness, but a conscious act of kindness every day. And so what does that look like? And so, it could be as simple as opening the door for someone. It could be getting someone a lead in business. It could be passing on a resource will be really helpful for someone. Take a look at how you can do that. And in the Profit of Kindness, instead of return on investment, we have rock return on kindness. Because what I have found consistently in the research for this book was that every company who practices more kindness, and these are everyone from solo entrepreneurs to, major companies and corporations, they make more money, they have more fulfilled employees, they tend to be happier. So, interesting construct, right? And so I think that's really an important piece, is see where and how you can practice kindness every day. So, for an example, one of our return on kindness principles is to be flexible, right?
Mm-hmm.
And flexibility, I think, is a real key to business today. And the truth is we have a changing environment in our world today, and I think you need to be absolutely flexible with your clients and your customers, and have somewhat more flexible policies in order to succeed in business.
So,
and that's something I've really noticed.
yeah. So you put this book out, and then this divided state. You send out this press release. You start getting the exposure in the media. How were you like? What did you do to position statistics and things with the book? Like what did you do when you were being interviewed?
Well, the biggest thing I looked at was the issue about what was happening it was just past the election, and that's really what we focused on. It wasn't like a lot of research around, this and that and that and this, because obviously we want to put forth the issues of the book first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the best way to do that, I think, is find one great statistic about what's the problem. Like when I'm promoting publicity, I say that 4 out of 5 businesses will go out of business because you have no clue how to create publicity without spending a fortune. And that's the stat I use, which is true, and, like that. Now, the issue when you're dealing with, a little bit more newsworthy is in the sense of what's happening right then in the marketplace, is you can talk about the problem there. You can talk about the issue of what's happening in the news and be more, I'd call it commentary on that, so that really works.
Yeah, just actually jumping in the conversation and relating that back to your business, and really just keep aligning your value, your message.
Exactly.
So you have this crash course in publicity that you teach.
Right, and you've actually Mike's been to it, which is wonderful. Yes, I do, and it's really practical, tactical, get it done. I teach it online also for people all over the world, and then do it in several cities across North America typically. And it's like people leave with 3 documents done, because I'm really big on you have to have a right bio that's simple and interesting. You have to have a message that's powerful. And then I have some simple strategies that are replicatable that we actually get done, and people leave with those documents done. And then, how to get it out there and what to say and templates that they can use forever in their business. So I've been having a blast doing it.
So what are a couple tips that you could give our audience and businesses on things to start positioning and using the media and the publicity?
Yeah, so the first thing is, like I said, first, define the message. You have to know that before you go out.
Mm-hmm. That's
really key. But, for instance, I have a prosperity coach I'm working with, and I'm like, guess what? It's the end of the year and beginning of the next year, and this is times that people are thinking about that. Gave her some very specific tips focused on how to create prosperity for 2018 and, make it a wealthy year. And she got on Good Day Utah TV show, major CBS affiliate, speaking that. And by the way, we didn't even have the press release written, but it was having a good script. So script is key. And notice that we tied it into, the news that's happening now, what's going on right now. So if you can do that, that's really helpful. Also, get yourself on Google Alerts and follow what's happening in your industry, right? So you want to be a leader in your industry, and I think that's really a key. Be a leader in your industry. That'll make a big difference too.
Yeah, I love Google Alerts for that reason, right? Because I can see what's going on in the industry, whether it's under media speaking or
sometimes you got to
position.
fine tune that down. I had
Yeah.
some come, I'm getting like 200 alerts a week. I'm like, whoa, we need to fine tune this down
Yeah,
to
you've
very
gotta use the
specific.
filters. Yeah, you got to use the filters. But yeah, that's a great tip.
So in this crash course to publicity, you're going to teach them the message for both the public and the press. You're going to teach them how to do hot sizzling reels for your actual sizzling reel for the press releases, bios, how to stay light years above your competition, how to strategically plan your own smoking hot publicity campaigns. These are all covered in your course. But for what I love that you said is that not only are we going to teach you this, you're going to leave there with it. Mm-hmm. There's going to be things that you learn with Jill that she's going to teach you. This is similar to our Design It course. Like, I have a firm belief if you love it, they can interact with it, and they can leave it with it in their hand. That's a great course.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one thing I enjoyed when I was at our course is that you actually walked away with your I call it your 7-second pitch for the media, right? And so Jill just does a wonderful job. I know we're going to be going to.
Yeah, we got a little bit of time for the break, but I mean, really, what we're looking at right now, Jill, is that you've been doing this for a lot of people. You're a top-selling author, master strategist, radio, television. I mean, you've got it covered right now on this, boosting your credibility and actually getting out there for the crash course in publicity. But for our listeners out there, if you go to publicitycrashcourse.com and go to the /registration page, Jill's offering a $600 discount off of her course for anyone that's listening to our show by entering the promo code in the now. So that's publicitycrashcourse.com /registration.
Yeah, and we'll put it up on Facebook Live and also on the website. We'll make sure that the links are up there for everybody and take advantage of that.
So for Mike's favorite question he likes to ask all our guests, Jill, what should we have asked you about this?
Oh, what should you have asked me? I think what's most interesting is what I learned particularly from promoting Profit of Kindness. And it was really interesting because the truth is my media worked really well. Of course, I know how to do that, and I'm very happy with what I accomplished in that. But I think what was most difficult was the joint venture relationships I had, because I found that some people kept their agreements and sent out, please buy Jill's books, and some I found interesting, like what they wanted in exchange to help me promote my book, as opposed to just doing it as the kind thing. So I thought that was interesting, and I learned that it's really hard to often corral people and this is for everybody to be paying attention to. Who are your joint venture partners, meaning the people who help promote your products and services? What are you, if anything, doing in exchange with them? And so, that's important to look at. And
Absolutely.
Do you care about that? Like, is that something that's important to you? And by the way, I think it's fine to care about that. It's just that sometimes I thought it was interesting that long-term relationships cared more about that than they did just, what can we do to create success together?
Well, thank you,
So
Jill.
really
Our
come
producer's
from
saying
that
we got to go to
mindset.
break, so I'll bring you back and we'll cover more on that topic. But I absolutely 100% agree. You got to care about it, and it has to align with your clients.
Here on the In the Now with Mike Triggers and Brandon Heights. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're listening to this broadcast, whether live stream or here in Sacramento on 105.5 FM. And we just finished having a conversation with Jill Lublin, who's a media master, and we're going to bring her back here real quick. But before we do, I want to give a shout out to some of the folks on the live stream. Aaron Byrne, we have Ken Korse, we have Sylvia Fisher, we have Linda Locke, Raquel Sharper, Marlise Hyde. We have Jamie Hoffman, Jeff Garcia, Karen Reitz. Excuse me, Karen, if I messed up your last name. Melinda, Raymond, Kevin, Sherry. Man, we've got a lot of folks. Gerald. Oh, good friend Eric Laughlin. Hey, welcome. He's a great sales trainer. Jonathan Atkins. Welcome. I love the media today. There's so many ways to connect and do what you do and position yourself as an authority. And as we've been in the last segment, we talked about publicity and positioning and using publicity to position yourself as authority. And Jill Lublin was just giving some gold nuggets that you could walk away. And Jill, I want to continue that conversation on some of those examples. The last example we had is setting up the Google alerts. What would be some of the next steps for people to position themselves with the media?
So the other thing that's really key is to focus in on a plan that I like once a quarter. Make sure that your message gets out. Make sure that people know who you are. And what that looks like is zooming into a specific story that you want to put out. Like, you control your story and your message, right? So that's when you look to see what's a larger message that's worth telling. Like a parenting coach I had, and it's nice to talk about parenting, but what was really interesting was to tie the story to Valentine's Day and talk about how to fall out of love. And that was really interesting, and that's a story that actually really worked. So I thought that, that's really what we want to look at is, again, how can you fit in not only what's going on, but then look at the holidays. Look at if there's a national holiday that also talks to what you do. Like an organizer I worked with, there's National Organizing Month, but we did a send out for Find Your Desk Day, right?
That's great.
And that was really fun.
Well, and to capitalize it, we had a couple shows prior. We were talking about that every month there is some type of activity that you could capitalize on in the media.
Flag Day, Memorial Day. There's just so many things.
Well,
so I always say start with the calendar, right?
Right.
Find out what's already being celebrated by everybody out there.
So Gabby and I were talking, and on Christmas the following day, right? It's actually Candy Cane Day.
Yeah.
So we put a post out through the on our social media for the orthodontist for candy canes, right? Celebrate Candy Cane Day. But you find the different angles to position you. There's always something going on in the media every single month. There's some type of holiday that you can capitalize on. Now, Jill.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
You teach kind of that, continue along with the positioning. So now someone gets their press release out, they're starting to pick up. What's the next step for them?
So when they're getting it out, part of it then now is the follow-up. And, I don't think you have to call everybody and all, but for instance, the wealth advisor that I told you, I gave her 5 calls to make. Typically it was the ABC, NBC, and CBS TV and radio affiliates. I like to, and I think this is a great strategy, suggest to people to become a star in your own backyard. And take a look at what can you do to create visibility in your own backyard, and that makes a world of difference too.
That's critical because a lot of people. Two things I heard in what you just said. One, you don't necessarily need to have the press release out. It's important, but just having a proper script and calling to create pitch an idea, and especially on the local, they're starving for information. They want to find news that they can talk about.
Exactly. You got it. That's what I'm talking about. And good news is they do want and need to find news, just like you, just like we're all listening here, that, there are 10,000 radio shows every single day. And, as far as I'm concerned, those are really good odds. And the great news about that is that we can focus in on the stories of now. There's typically 4,000 guests booked a day. Hey, that's good odds as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. There's this amazing radio show called In the Now. These guys, Mike and Brandon, they're just off the chart, right? So, and so you can start there, and you're not even including podcasts, which is becoming really popular with the
YouTube channels, which is. Oh, and then Snapchat, Facebook Live, Periscope.
All these are opportunities.
You just pick the battle. Like, one of the things I always tell them is find out what aligns with your why. Start building your baseline to find out where you want this message to be spread. Because if you're going to spread something in your own backyard, you've got to give it in. You got to actually play full out. You got to find out who that local media is, make contact with them, give them a call, send them a sizzle reel, start getting into that attention. Like you say in this one section here, it's being part of the mind, like what do you call it? The mind awareness, top of mind awareness. You've got to be top of mind with every local station, so they're looking for your story versus you going and hunting them down.
Yeah, I know one of the things that Jill's taught me is that building relationships with your media, identifying who's your media, right, and start building relationships with them and get out there and get to know them, ventures. Right, and that's part of your joint ventures. And I think that's just a valuable tip: is don't go with the bib, go with a serving heart like a server, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
And so Jill's has taught me to as far as when I'm positioning myself as an authority in my niche, is to start building that relationships. And I did this. I took advantage. I saw an event that came up. I went because the contributing writer was writes for Forbes and Inc. and all these others, and I built a relationship with them, and now we're doing stuff and working together. Same with Jill, right? She's working with us on some projects that I've got going on. So Jill, what are some things that you, when you're looking to help a business, what do you catch most of the time that folks have a problem with?
Okay. So the biggest problem is their message, meaning clarity, meaning speaking in you words. A lot of people speak in I, us, and we words. So I really want to shift that as you're listening here and shift your message to you words. And what that means is when you speak your message, and notice I just did it, when you speak your message, right now your listeners, guys, are feeling like I'm speaking more to them. So I think that's really a key, is speak in you language, make things really simple, 5-year-old language. And I know that all of you know what you're promoting and selling really well, but truthfully, for other folks, we need to make it much easier, much simpler. So keeping things really simple and easy is a key to success.
I agree. And so folks out there that didn't hear the URL for her course that's coming up is publicitycrashcourse.com/registration. And when you go in there, you want to use a promo code called In the Now, right? All one word, In the Now. And that she's giving $600. Is that right? $600 off her course? That's amazing.
I am, just for you guys.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Now, Jill, is this course online or in person?
Yes, I teach it both online, and they can take it like that, same course, same great course, or in person at multiple cities across North America. But certainly they can take it online and not have to travel from wherever they are. It's still live with me, and I get to look over all the documents that they do and accomplish. So would love to support your people in really getting your word out there. It's time to rock your world, and I'm going to tell you, publicity is one of the main marketing strategies that drives business and creates more prospects, more recognition, more trust in the marketplace, and all of that's key for your business.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jill, for being on the show today.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And any last comments that you want to make to our audience?
I think really what I want to say is that your message matters. No matter what you're doing, no matter how big or small your business is, what's key is taking your message out to the world and doing it in a way that gifts, G-I-F-T, gifts people other ways of looking at you. And so I just really encourage you to take the baby steps you need to start creating more visibility in the marketplace.
Well, thank you, Jill, and thank you for being on In the Now with Brandon and I. And we really appreciate it. Look forward to many more opportunities to have conversations and working together. So
yeah, it's always good to have guests that align with your core. You know, everything that you're saying is what we teach on a daily basis. And I know this course you have is beautiful, just from what I've heard from Mike. So thank you.
Well, thank you, and thank you for having me, guys. You take good care.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. We'll see you in the new year.
All right, bye-bye.
So just summarizing some of that before we go to break, because my producer's already given me the cue for the next commercial. But when you look at this, I mean, Any business can do this. You can start small. You can start with your social media publicity. Then you can reach out to the radio stations. You can call us. There's sponsorship ads that are affordable out there. There's all kinds of things that you can do just to start the wheel turning. 2018 is coming quick. It's almost, what do we got? 5 more days?
Yeah,
We're done.
We're done. We're
And
in
then
the
that's
new
where
year.
we're at. So it's like, you need to look at this thing. And so she said, number 1, have a plan.
Yeah.
Number 2, play full out. Follow up with the people that are on there and start crafting your message.
I think that's the key, right? Is crafting the message. You and I teach the audio logo and design it,
Yeah.
which I think plays in both, right? I think we talk about here's the
Here's the current
issues,
challenge that
challenges.
your customer's having, and here's how you solve it.
Exactly.
And this is similar to the old Zig Ziglar method of why we created the Now Academy. If you help enough people get what they want, you will have what you want.
Right. I think honing in on your message, spending a lot of time there is critical and important. And I think that, you take what she's talked about, what's the challenges, use statistics, 4 out of 10, 9 out of 10, whatever it is, have these challenges, and then you follow up with benefits and how they can fix those challenges, whatever
Yeah.
they are. And I know that's one of the things that we harp on.
Yeah, the
is
pain and the gain.
Yeah, in the audio logo, because it could be in a press release or it could be in a networking event.
It should be everywhere. Everywhere you go, that message should be unified
Yep.
and be out there for everyone in your backyard.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to go to break here at 105.5 FM in the Now with Brandon Heintz and Mike Driggers Rock. We'll see you guys here in the next 2 minutes.
Welcome back, everyone. Brandon Heintz and Mike Driggers with In the Now.
Yeah, we got some new folks on. Brian Randall, Dan Ray's on, Brian Donnelly, Susan Bagley, Sherry Hendrickson's on, and just folks, the live stream's just exploding here with lots of great people.
Yeah, so this is another little test case of how this crash course in publicity works, right?
Right.
So the more we get out there, so this show will now be live right now.
Yep.
It'll also be Facebook Live. Then it'll be on our YouTube channel. Then it's going to be spliced up into an audio podcast. Then we're going to syndicate that podcast through all these little podcast apps out there.
Yep.
By what? We're stomping in our own backyard. We're getting this done, but yet we're trying to reach one to many.
Yeah, absolutely.
So everything that you do right now can actually change this. So going into this last piece of the segment of our show, 2018 is coming.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to position yourself to be an authority in your marketing, and you can be an authority. There's standalones out there that can take over the market. Like one of my things I'll say during the course is, how many of you remember when 501 jeans were the jeans? And then all of a sudden now there's so many brands out there that I don't even know what brand I'm wearing right now,
There's
nor would I
all
even
kinds.
care when I go into the store. Hey, what's new? What's hot? What's going on? Let me try something. A brand new jean can break into the market and become a standalone, right?
Yeah.
And there's some of them that come out there, like Citizens of Humanity came out. Now I don't even see them anymore. Lee jeans are still cranking away.
Yeah.
There's always room in your market for you to stand out.
I think the other thing is there's a good book out there called The Blue Ocean Strategy,
Yeah.
right? That's standing out, right? It's getting outside of the Red Sea and creating a blue ocean. And how do you do that? It doesn't matter what your business is and competitors. You can stand and create that blue ocean by becoming that authority, finding that angle or that niche to start messaging what you do and how you do things. I agree with you that there's a lot of times folks get caught up in how they go about and market their business, but the time is now. You've got to plan out the 2018. And you had a couple questions that you were
I've
asking
got
me
some
the
great
other-
questions. This is what I kind of do for my reset every year. All of us are proud. All of us have had a great year. Some of us have been through some trials, tribulations. My motto is, fall down 7, stand up 8. But what I want to ask you, and these are 3 very important questions that you should look at for the new year. And I asked my kids last night, you should have seen the look on their faces when I was going through these questions with them. One thing you did this year that you're proud of. What is the one thing this year that just made you fill up?
Yeah.
I'm proud that I did this.
Like you accomplished it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know that there's been a couple for us. One, the Design It course, and then we've got the Incident Authority course coming out now,
Yeah.
right? And then the M3 in the future here.
Yeah. Money Mastermind.
That one's pretty powerful. But we've accomplished a lot. And even like the new books that we're working on for myself, I was thinking about this. I was thinking about how Gabby overcame cancer, breast
Yeah.
cancer, right? That was huge. So I think that you celebrate what that one thing was.
Yeah, and there could be multiple too. Like Mikey just named a few of them, and there's a couple things that I'm really proud of this year. But the next question's really impactful.
Yes.
One mistake you made, and that you lesson you've learned from it.
Just one?
Just one of the mistakes that you made this year, and what was the lesson that you learned from it? My son said, I'm never buying from those little kiosks in the mall ever again. Things always break. He spent a bunch of money. He's like, that will never happen to me again. And I was like, I was proud of him in that moment. Like, wow.
Sure.
He actually realizes the value of the dollar. He's a very, very in tune with saving his money.
Right on. He experienced the value of the dollar right there when
When
things
it crashed
Yes.
the first week and it was dead, and he's like, this drone was so weak. But I mean, I was just proud of that moment, just knowing that he actually learned that piece. But number 3, what's the one story you're willing to let go before 2017? What's the one thing that you've spent too much time focusing on, giving your energy to, that is no longer going to suit you going forward?
Yeah, I think that's critical. I did a training yesterday. You and I talked about reframing, the self-talk that goes on between the 6 inches in your ears, from one ear to the other. And a lot of times we hold on the story, and we don't. And unfortunately, when we hold on to that type of self-talk or those stories, it paints the canvas of what your canvas is, right?
Yeah, what your day's going to happen, how your month is going to react.
How you feel. And one of the ways is when you wake up in the morning, take note of how you feel, because it starts with that negative talk or that self-talk. And what you put out there is going to come back. So if you're putting out that negativity, if you're painting a canvas of negativity, that's what's going to happen. And so you've got to self-frame, get rid of that story. Don't carry it anymore. Move on. Be like the duck. When water hits the back of a duck, it just rolls off.
Yeah. There's got to be something that you let go of. There's a piece that there's this forgiveness tactic. There's all kinds of things of ways that you can say, that's not suitable for me anymore. That used to be okay. And I told my kid a story about this other kid that he's always like, oh, the kid is bothering me, he's bothering me, he's bothering me. And I said, well, guess what? I want you to imagine that you guys walk into the same room together and there's other people there. And you're over here dwelling on what that person's doing, what that other business has done, or, oh, he cheats in his marketing. Oh, his marketing is lying. And you're so focused on that. But then you look over at that other owner or that other kid or that other person, and they're having a good time. So what is that story that you're willing to let go of before 2017 ends? What's that one thing that causes you stress, the stomach ache, you're eating Tums? Whatever's happening to you in your life is happening to you, because every experience that you have happens in the now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're dwelling on the past, on what other people are doing, if you're critical over how they act, guess who's suffering? You.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't be comparing yourself to somebody else. I think that's another thing that a lot of us overachievers do, is we compare,
which is fine. I like to gauge, right?
Sure, but don't get down because somebody's hit a position or did accomplish something. You need to focus and look in the mirror on what your goals were, what you need to accomplish.
Yeah, like Gary Vaynerchuk says, is you got to put the time in.
Yeah,
that person might be 6 months ahead of you, and you can catch them. You could pass them.
Yep.
You could lap them.
Yep. You just got to put the time in.
Yeah. So the things that I want you to look at are these 3 main questions. One thing you did this year you're proud of. One mistake you made and the lesson you learned from it. And what's the one thing you're willing to leave behind this year as you go into 2018?
Write those out. And then what do you want to accomplish in the new year? What story do you want to make?
Yeah, what will be your message as your business? What message are you going to put together? Whether you had one in the past and you want to fine tune it, what is the message going forward for you, your business, your next book, your next speaking engagement? What is that one message that's going to go out there? And then how are you going to harness that in the eyes of the publicity that's going on, the actual dance of publicity that everyone's talking about?
Yes.
How are you going to get involved in that? Where's your business going to go in this next year?
Start searching for those opportunities. Start planning out. Look at like what we talked about. Every month is some opportunity, whether it's a sporting event or something. How do you play into that?
Yeah, so every one of our listeners right now, you're successful. What you're doing in your life is suiting you, but there's some things that could change that'll better suit you. It's okay to get rid of old baggage. Pack a new suitcase and bring new luggage with you.
Mm-hmm.
You have the right to do that. Every human on this planet has the right to make choices. And the more choices you have going forward, the better your life is going to get. So just open it up. Learn from that mistake from last year. Take that proud moment and have another one. Leave something behind this year. Get rid of something that doesn't suit you anymore.
Yeah, one of the things that I do just to get rid of it is I put it on paper, and then I just crumble it up, burn it, and walk away, and I'm done with it. Right?
Burn it.
I don't want to have any more energy with it. and
Keep a
move
fire
on.
extinguisher around.
Yeah,
if you
keep
do
close.
that.
Yeah. Do it in the sink, right? But I literally get rid of it out of my mind on paper and said, I'm done. Let's go forward. Let's look at the vision. And Joel Osteen has a great story about that, in the sense that when you're driving your car, you have this big windshield in front of you so you can see the view, and then you have this little tiny rear view mirror that looks behind you. And that's what that needs to be. That little tiny rear view mirror has to be your past. Don't make it your window. Don't make it the windshield of life.
Yeah, stop
right?
bringing the rearview mirror into your front view.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep looking forward. Keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Fall down 7, stand up 8. Make 2018 the best.
I can't wait. 2018 is going to rock.
It
man.
already is. It's starting now.
We've got a lot of stuff that I'm excited about that we're doing and moving forward. So I know a lot of people are excited, and I can't wait to see some of the successes and hear from people out there, and especially on our Facebook Live and the Now Academy, Mike Driggers and Brandon Heights. You can find the live stream. But man.
2018 is coming. Here's my thing for you. Play full out. Win daily,
What?
win weekly,
What?
win monthly.
Play full out.
Play full out. Get involved. Experience what you want this year. Make it happen.
Yeah.
If you want to experience something, find out how you have to change to make that possible. And then my last piece for you today on today's show is find a way to give back.
I think that's critical.
Part of your publicity could literally be supporting a great group that you believe in, and be part of that this year. So play full out this year, give back, and keep moving forward.
Absolutely. And share, right?
Yeah, share with everyone.
I think that was your message right there was powerful if folks didn't hit it, because you could do a whole publicity campaign around giving.
Yeah, and like she said, keep it as simple as a 5-year-old.
Yeah. And like she did, the whole book was Profit of Kindness, right?
Yeah.
That you could actually make money being kind. And the whole program and publicity was based around, the divide in the U.S. And
Yeah.
so she was able to capitalize. So
So I love the conscious act of kindness.
con-
That was great. Instead of random act,
yeah,
it's
conscious.
a conscious act of kindness.
So take your business and look at what's going to happen in January, February, March, right? You got Valentine's, you got the New Year, starting the New Year out right, all those. So
Play full out, you guys. In the Now Radio on 105.5.
we'll see you next week, next Thursday on In the Now.
Brandon Heinz and Mike Driggers.
Bye for now.